An historic Mass at St. Patrick's Cathedral tonight with a guest from the Vatican. Alphonse Cardinal Stickler, the retired head of the Vatican Library, presided over a Mass said in Latin. During the Latin Mass, the priest faces the altar instead of the congregation, a practice the Vatican replaced back in 1971.
At St. Patrick's Cathedral tonight, it was like a scene from the past. A type of Mass that hadn't been celebrated there since the mid-60s. It was entirely in Latin, a throwback to the days before the Second Vatican Council, before Catholic Masses were offered in languages the worshippers could understand. Pope John Paul II has allowed a limited return of the ancient Tridentine rite, which features the priest facing the altar with his back to the worshippers. Some conservative groups within the church say this is the way it should be.
We believe that this liturgy is more God-centered. The new liturgy possibly is a little bit more man-centered. And folks on the left will admit that, and that's one of the reasons that they like the new Mass, because it is centered upon man more than God.
It was standing room only at the Latin Mass tonight at St. Pat's, testament perhaps to the rarity of the event. Brings back a lot of memories.
Up next, tonight's winning lottery number.
For the first time in decades today, a high Tridentine Latin Mass was held at St. Patrick's Cathedral. As T.Y. Chang reports, the theme of tradition echoed through the cathedral.
With much pomp, Mass was celebrated in Latin in St. Patrick's Cathedral for the first time in 35 years. It was standing room only for some 4,000 plus Catholic worshipers. Alphonse Cardinal Stickler, a conservative member of Pope John Paul's inner circle of cardinals in Rome, came to deliver the Tridentine or High Pontifical Mass in Latin. In 1965, Vatican II replaced Latin with the local language of the respective church. But American Catholics have had a slow return to Latin Mass, though most services are still in English. The church says many Catholics want more of a return to the Latin Mass.
Many of the faithful were attached to the old Mass of the tradition of the Catholic Church.
This is a very special occasion.
A cardinal who is a member of the Pope's inner circle celebrating a Latin Mass in the premier Catholic church in America is seen as a signal of a return to traditional Catholicism, a return to tradition by a traditional Pope. The Catholic Church believes a Latin Mass may help restore faith, because Latin may add to the mystery of prayer. The Bistonis, a young couple from the Bronx, seem to agree.
There's a lot of Catholics that probably have never experienced a Latin Mass, and maybe if they did, they might come back to the church.
In addition to the use of the Latin language, other conservative returns in this high Mass included the priest facing the altar, not the parish, and communion given to parishioners on their knees, not standing. Even Cardinal Stickler, though, admits these returns to traditionalism will not come fully back, especially in American churches, viewed as the most liberal. At St. Patrick's Cathedral, T.Y. Chang, News Channel 4.
The Latin Mass was once banned by the Vatican back in 1971. It was only until 1984, under Pope John Paul II, that it was allowed again. Next on News Channel 4, laying the groundwork for Louis Farrakhan.